Welcome back. It is 6:24 on your Monday morning. Taking a look at how things finished up last week on Wall Street. Dow was up 60 points on Friday. NASDAQ down 55. You know, it isn't always easy to think about, but it does help to have a plan for what to do with all your stuff once you're no longer around anymore. One of the big decisions, though, is who will be in charge of all that stuff. So this morning, we're looking at what to consider when picking a trustee. Meredith Wersch is here for this week's Farmers Trust Financial Report. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thanks.
That's what I like to hear. So how important, first off, is this decision and not leaving anything to chance?
So, no pressure. It's probably one of the most important decisions you'll make in the estate planning process.
Wow.
So what is a trustee, really? It's a fiduciary that holds and administers your assets through the trust on your behalf. So really, a couple of things. A trustee is in charge of accounting, legal, business, and investment administrative matters. So on any given day, you're going to want to probably prepare trust tax returns, do investment for all the assets that you've accumulated, general administrative matters, and even distributing to your beneficiaries.
So I mean, there's a lot of duties involved in this, and it's not just even you talking about it right now. It doesn't sound easy.
It's a tough, often thankless job. But it's well worth it. So really there's two options that you have in who you can name as trustee. One is an individual, such as a trusted advisor, close friend, or family member. Or you could go the other route and select an institutional trustee, such as a trust company or a bank.
So what are some of the pros and cons to that? Obviously, somebody that you know, knows what's important to you and everything like that. What are some of maybe the negatives of maybe somebody that you know then?
Right. So there are costs and benefits associated with either alternative, and really it's going to depend on your personal circumstances. A couple of examples. If you've got a lot in the way of wealth or assets and you have complex dispositive wishes, like you want to hold the assets in trust and not distribute them outright, then you're probably going to want to name an institutional trustee because they have that general background. But where your assets are kind of automatically transferable upon your death, like a TOD bank account, and you don't have a lot of dispositive wishes, certainly an individual trustee is an option for you.
Okay, all right. So I think we have a graphic with a list of maybe some of the responsibilities that are involved. So let's walk through this, and record keeping is obviously a big one.
Yes, it is. Most of my job every day is keeping records and general administrative matters. So trust, you know, you have tax, investment, business advice. So there's lots of different tasks associated with the responsibility and job.
Yeah, I mean, you see them right there on the screen.
Yep.
Tax returns, distributing that money, obviously, and you mentioned general administration stuff. Mm-hmm. Is it maybe sometimes advantageous to go with somebody who is a professional in this as opposed to somebody who doesn't have a background?
It can be. So, you know, trust companies and banks, they're not the only professionals out there that can do it. Certainly a lawyer is perfectly capable of handling a trustee. The only caveat to naming an individual trustee instead of an institutional one is that not only are you paying for trustee services, you have to pay the costs associated with hiring the lawyer, the accountant, and the financial advisor. So really at the end of the day, when you're thinking about an institutional versus an individual trustee, you're going to want to look at the overall expense because sometimes what you think is a cheaper option ends up being the most expensive.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yep.
And as an individual, do they get compensated for doing this? I mean, you said it's a thankless job. Do they get something out of it?
They do, yes. So generally, individual trustees are entitled to reasonable compensation for their services. So
interesting stuff. All right, got a little lesson this morning. Meredith, great to see you as always. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. If you have any questions for the fine folks at Farmers Trust Company, there's the number on your screen. And if you have any ideas that you'd want to see one of their experts talk about on a Monday, send us an email, farmers@wfmj.com. For now, we'll send things back over Jody's way. Take a look at that Monday gray forecast.